Okay, hello viewers, Watch95 here again with another video. Um, and this is... Sorry about that, I'm just turning on my computer. Oh god. Yeah, this is something I haven't done for a while. It is a game review of the newly released Amazing Spider-Man game. To start off with, yeah, this game's really good. Beanox did an amazing job with it. It's a really fun game, you know, you could spend hours and hours and hours on it, as I have. I mean, I got it about... What time did I get it yesterday? Maybe like 10, 10:30 or something like that. And I've pretty much played it all day yesterday up until about... No, wait, sorry. I got it from about 10:30, played it for 3 hours, then I went out until about 3:30, came back, played it till about 1 o'clock, as I was really hammering it. And then this morning I got up and played it straight away, because this game is so amazing. Yeah, I have completed it in like less than a day, but it is such a good game. So what are the good things about it? Well, it's it's a Spider-Man game, and I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so that's obviously a big bonus. But also, unlike the past few Spider-Man games, you return to Manhattan and you can go outside and swing about as you can in Spider-Man 2, which is probably the highlight of the series of Spider-Man games, in my opinion. Although people say that Shattered Dimensions was a good game, I never played it, so I can't say whether I think it's good or not. So yeah, in my opinion, Spider-Man 2 has been the best of the series, and this follows in the footsteps of Spider-Man 2, with the outside, excuse me, with the outside combat and the environments and swinging around, all stuff like that. And Beanox did that very well. Also, there are lots of side quests that you can go and do in the city. They can get a little bit repetitive, but like I could no. Let me rephrase that. I could see why people would get bored with it, because they would think it's repetitive. For me, I think it's really cool because, especially with the car chase, there are car chase ones, there are like gun robbery ones where you have to go and take down the gunman without them killing the police. And then there's also like street crimes, and then you just go, oh god, you just go and beat up the people. But it's really good because, oh sorry, when you go into the combat, it's quite similar to the Arkham City style, and it's really simple stuff. Oh gosh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's a really simple style of combat, but it's really satisfying to smash down on enemies. Like, you can get an ability where if you press circle or B on your respective console, then you can do a signature move. So you would be pressing square or X, and then you're like beating them up, boom, 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 and then this little like sort of halo comes above their head, and it's a spinning one. Then you press circle, and then he'll do some. Then the Spider-Man just busts out some massive move, and like sometimes he jumps on their back and punches their head. Sometimes he does a backbreaker, but on his shoulders, and so he cracks their back, and then he ends it by spinning them in webs. So yeah, that's really good. I like the combat. There's also, I'll talk about the indoor combat first, before I get onto the other side missions. The indoor combat is quite similar, but you'll be crawling in a lot of vents and trying to sneak around, especially if you're on the higher levels. You don't want to be caught, otherwise you'll die quite quickly. So yeah, if you hang upside down, you can like crawl on walls, obviously, and the crawling is a big aspect of the game. And I think they did that on purpose because a lot of the times the crawling hasn't been, his wall crawling skills haven't been utilised in a lot of the games and the films actually. So it's good to see them use it effectively, and then you can drop down on your unsuspecting enemies and take them up into the shadows if you get a special ability, or you just like land down on them and spray a web on them. That's the default attack. So yeah, that's mainly what you'll be doing in the indoor combat. You'll also be fighting, so you'll be fighting generic enemies like they're infected citizens. So it's just beat them up. But they're also, they're ones that will just punch you. They're ones that will spit at you. So you have to vary your combat. There's also sorry about that. There is also robots. Same sort of thing. Ones that punch you, ones that will shoot from long range. But also the ones that will shoot you can track you down if you go and hide in the shadows. So yeah, you can't do much sneaking around with them. And there are also shielded ones where you have to web shoot them first before you can hit them. You'll also be fighting bosses. A lot of the main theme of if you don't know the story of the film, it's basically about the lizard and the story of the lizard. Plus whatever. I haven't seen the film, so I don't know. But I know the lizard's in it. So after this, I should make this spoiler free. Damn. The game is full of spoilers, but basically, yeah, there are lots of bosses you have to fight, robot bosses and other bosses. If you go and play the game, then you'll find out. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil the plot of the game or the film for anyone. Almost did it there. Yeah, and the boss fights are quite cool. You have to do lots of different things in them. Now the collectibles, there are lots of different collectibles. There are indoors, you can get Oscorp magazines, which will do something or other. There are just normal comics lying around, which give you 25 experience. And there are also little rectangular boxes, that shine blue, and they give you a tech bonus, and that's like it's a type of upgrade. Obviously, the more points you get, the more stuff you can buy, the higher level upgrades you can buy. So yeah, those are the collectibles you can get indoors. Now, the main collectibles are the 700 pieces of comic books that you can find all across Manhattan. Now, the neat thing about this is that once you collect, there are 700 pieces, but once you collect certain ones, there are certain milestones that you get, and you get comics, and these are real comics. There's the first Spider-Man comic ever, first Lizard, first Rhino, first Black Cat, Modern Lizard, first Iguana, first Smythe, and did I say Black Cat? First Black Cat, and then also Versus Vermin, not first Vermin, Versus. So yeah, that's really neat, and you can actually if you go to the main menu and go to extras, and you can read all of these comics, and I think that's a really good touch, and obviously they work close to Marvel with that, and I think that the fact that Stan Lee was put in the game also adds into that. Yes, if you didn't know, you can get a pack that will let you play it as Stanley. Uh, there's also a Rhino challenge thing, and you basically run around as Rhino and try and hit multipliers, and it can be quite fun, but it can get quite tedious as well. The other side missions are basically picking up infected citizens or other. I don't want to spoil the game, but other people that you need to bring in, basically. Um, but yeah, I think there's a big mix of features in the game, and it's definitely a good game. If you don't want to buy it, then I would suggest a rent. There are problems with it. I'm not gonna lie. I got a few glitches sometimes, not game-breaking ones, but I was like swinging through the city, and then I tried to turn around a building. Say the building was here, I tried to turn around it, and instead of him turning, he just went through the building, uh, which was quite funny. Turned around and the building was just there, and I started laughing. There's also some camera issues because when you're swinging through the city, in Spider-Man 2, the camera is quite far away, but in this one, it's a bit closer to. They said to give you like the feeling of vertigo and to make you actually feel like you're the real Spider-Man, and that can cause problems if you're trying to collect these comic books because you can go flying, absolutely flying when you're web swinging, and these comic books are like tiny little things that you have to web rush to, um, and that can be really hard to miss. So that can cause camera issues. Um, Web Rush, I'll quickly mention that, which is a gameplay mechanic. You can use it to get away from enemies if you press LB or L1. That's called Web Retreat. But if you hold down R1 or RB, and you go into Web Rush mode and you see Spider-Man's goggles, and then there are lots of different yellow markers across the world. Where you can web rush to, or you can web rush to an enemy and punch him. And there are special abilities where if you press certain buttons before you web rush to an enemy, you can do a cool move that will like either knock him down, give you basically a really easy kill, not kill, stun, defeat enemy, um, or like a web hurricane where you can encase everyone in webs. You know, there's lots of different features. So yeah, I think I think I've ranted a bit, but basically, yeah, it's a good game. There are a few issues with it, and it can get. I can imagine people getting bored with it. But you know, it's an open world game. The controls are quite familiar. You know, you're not gonna forget the controls all of a sudden unless you don't play it for like 3 years or whatever. So it's easy to learn the controls, fun game, and you know, Marvel fans, Spider-Man fans will love it. I think I would advise to go and watch the movie first because it does spoil a lot of plot points. Um, they shouldn't have released it. They should not have released it now. But I am gonna score this now, and I think that I'm going to. Hmm, I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because it's a fun game, good story. You know, the voice acting is okay. I think it looks quite pretty, and you know, it's a really fun game. You can go and swing around like you are Spider-Man, collect all the comics. You know, invest a lot of time in it, and you will get the rewards from it. So yeah, I think it deserves an 8. Obviously, there are some issues with it, but yeah, I think it's a good game overall. Well done, Beanox. So yeah, this is almost at the 15-minute mark. I'm going to finish up here because I went on a bit too long. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I might do some gameplay versus like big bosses um, later in a couple months, not months, but maybe some weeks later. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks and goodbye.